Hey guys, Neomis here now for today's video. Got to talk about England game, England versus Czech Republic, and fantastic result. Absolutely fantastic result, and more importantly for Arsenal, fantastic performance from our very own Bukayo Saka, putting in a manager match performance. And I'm saying it right now, as I said it before, Gareth Southgate finally decided to listen to me, and I was right. I was right that Gareth saw the vision that I had and decided to go out and play Saka. Because I told him, like, if you want to get the best out of this England squad, you need to play Jack Grealish. You got to play Saka in that side to be able to get the best. And so they did. They decided to play Bukayo Saka, and boy, did he not let anyone down with his performance today. He was all over. The interchange between him and Grealish, sometimes Grealish dropped back into central midfield. That allowed Saka to go on the wings, whether it was right, at the 10, left. He did it all. He really, really did. And was the driving force of this team, which is what we've seen all season, Arsenal fans, he's been doing for us. Now, I know we might have some people watching this video who are not Arsenal fans, and I'm telling you right now, Bukayo Saka is the real deal. He has everything. He can do everything. Now, I mean, there are a few things he needs to polish up. His consistency probably needs to improve a lot of times in terms of like final ball. Like for instance, for the first goal, he initially crosses it, but it shoots over. But then when Jack Grealish crosses it, he managed to get that cross perfectly for Raheem Sterling to head it in, and Raheem Sterling did make history in that he is the second player, well, he's the first player since Alan Shearer in Euro '96 to score 2 goals in the group stages of a a Euro tournament, which I was shocked and surprised that was the case. But well done for Raheem Sterling for that. But for me, the plaudits has to go to Bukayo Saka. Again, 19 years old, put another consistent performance. I don't know if this was Gareth Southgate's initial plan to begin with, but giving him the rest that he needed from Arsenal, because he looked refreshed. He looked like he had tons of energy to go out and expend and do everything that he needed to, and he looked like a really, really good player. So I'm so proud of Bukayo Saka. Now, I don't think for an Arsenal perspective, we do need to watch how we manage him, and just to make sure that he is able to continue 90 minutes in this past game. I think he played about 80 minutes, 85 minutes worth until he was replaced by Jadon Sancho. But overall, I just thought it was a good, solid performance from Bukayo Saka. And if you thought that he had a good performance, definitely leave the comments below for that. And I think overall, the likes like Jack Grealish played well. Pickford for me played well, had some really good saves out of the game. I think probably the worst player on the pitch would had to have been Harry Kane, but I talked a lot about that on 101 Arsenal. But what I also wanted to talk about is that even within our group, along with the Czech Republic, who finished on 4 points plus one, they will probably go through to qualify because they've got 4 points, but nothing on the word yet. My guess is that they probably will kind of go through. They've got the same as Croatia on a +1 goal difference, but I think we're looking to see. I believe they might be eliminated, but I'm not sure on that just as of yet. But what we do know is that our Kieran Tierney, Braveheart, son of William Wallace, son of Mary Queen of Scots, he's done. His Euro tournament is over. But the good thing is that he's going to get a nice long rest, nice long holiday, at least for the next month. Probably just in time to go to Orlando, Florida to start the Arsenal preseason. But you could just tell Scotland just lacked kind of overall quality for their side. But you know what? I will say this. I watched the game against England, and I know I didn't talk about it when they played, but good solid performance from Scotland to do what they did. They knew their strengths and they tried to hide their weaknesses. And even though they weren't able to beat Croatia, I do have to say that they really did show their mettle and who they are as a team. Like just big props up to Scotland. You just would have hoped, the underdog story wouldn't have ended so early on within this Euro competition. But I'm just loving the fact that at least they had the opportunity to do that, and that Kieran Tierney got an opportunity to kind of to play for his country in the Euros. But what does this mean overall for England? Now, Scotland don't affect England in any type of way, shape, or form right now. But what does affect England is the next round, the round of 16. And the reason why I did this video is because when you look at the types of groups that England could potentially face, um, and England, because they top the group, they could potentially face the second of Group F, which here we go. It's France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. Now, Hungary are on 1 point with a -3 goal difference, followed by Portugal and Germany, who are level on 3 points with a +1 goal difference, and in France with 4 points with a +1 goal difference as well. Now, who do I think will finish second? Now, Germany have Hungary next. Like, they got Hungary. So for me, I'm looking at that thinking it is a definite, like surefire definite, that I could see Germany beating Hungary easily. 3 points there, so they get 6 points. And then the game between France and Portugal, that's going to be a tough one. But I'd probably put that down as a draw. So France would be on 5, Portugal would be on 4, and they might still qualify Portugal. But I don't know what the rules are around that just yet. But what we do know is that who's definitely going to finish second out of that group, in my opinion, will be France. That means that next week, around this time next week, I could be doing a video talking about how the game went versus England versus France. And I'll give you a preview of what I think will happen in that game. I think that'll be England's last game in this Euro competition, if I'm going to be completely honest with you about that. And I know that there's the England fanboys out there saying, England, let's go. I'm probably not one of them and like to look at it from a logical perspective. But if we do go up against France, we're in trouble. This France side, even though they aren't as clinical as they've previously shown in other competitions, they are a very good side. Lots of quality in there. And England have lots of quality in their side as well that they can use. But the question is, will Gareth Southgate leverage all of this quality so that we as fans can be able to see, and that England could then across progress? And I think that is the key part with it, is that we really just don't know what side Gareth Southgate is going to play. Now, you understand that because obviously, like, you don't expect him to tell everybody what he's going to play, but you do want to get a few hints and ideas on what that might be. Because right now, I can honestly say I don't know if that's the case. The fact that Bukayo Saka of Arsenal played really well in this game, does that necessarily translate onto the next game? I don't know. I really don't know. You would think it is, but personally, I've said this time and time again, like, when I'm talking about England, I don't rate Gareth Southgate, and I don't think he's going to make a logical decision like that. But I could be wrong, and he could decide to listen to me and decide to say, you know what, Neomis, you're right, I'll listen to you, I'll go play Bukayo, and everything will go right. And if he does listen to me, things will go right. Then they will have a real chance of beating France. But they've got to get the midfield sorted. They've got to fix this issue with Harry Kane. I think it's probably time to drop Harry Kane. I'm saying it first right here. This is an exclusive. Harry Kane must be dropped. Done. Simple as that. You got to drop him in the next game. Isn't performing that well. We got players there on the bench who probably deserve to play. I know Rashford came on, but I was talking about what I would put as my starting 11 on 101 Arsenal, and I had the likes of Calvert-Lewin up top with Grealish on the left, Kane at the 10. Sorry, not Grealish on the left. Grealish in central midfield with Calvin Phillips, and then on the left I put Saka. On the right I put Sterling. Then at left back I would go with Trippier. Two centre backs for me would be Mings and Maguire. and then a right back would be Walker, and then in goal you go with Pickford. That's what I personally would do. I think it's very unlikely that I would ever see a lineup like that. I don't think it's Gareth Southgate's way, but Gareth, I'm putting it out there to you. I'm giving you advice. Take it, or you're gonna get knocked out. That's all I'm trying to say, because I'm always right. Tell you, I'm always right when it comes to this stuff. So it's gonna be a difficult one for England. The other option is, I mean, because anything could kind of really happen, is Portugal. But I do think that England could potentially beat Portugal, which is why I don't think it's going to happen. I think out of that France-Portugal game, that it's most likely going to be France that's going to win that. Maybe you might get a draw. But for me, it's either going to be France or Germany. And Germany have a solid side, like a real solid side. Maybe not the superstars of old that they used to have, but they're just quietly going along, doing what they're supposed to do, and they're playing well. Like you can't argue with that. They're playing very well, and that's why for me, on a personal level, I'd probably say based on form right now, you probably want to avoid Germany. And we all know England's history with Germany. And you know, English fans love to say, you know, Germany this, Germany that. But when it comes to being in these competitions, Germany perform. And that's why I'd very much like to avoid them and probably go with France. And I know that sounds like pretty alien, but that's just my personal opinion. But the next round for England will be hard, because what you're doing is you are definitely going up against a team that has quality all throughout their side. You know, do you prefer to go up against Gnabry or Mbappe? These are the choice. Is it gonna be Muller up front you want to go up against, or is it Giroud or Benzema? This is what you gotta decide. And there's a lot of things that England gonna have to prepare for, and I hope Southgate is planning, because it's gonna be a tough one. But I do think that England have a chance, a slim chance. But they've got to listen to me. When I say these things, you got to listen. So let's see what really happens there. I'm not gonna give a prediction just yet. Well, I already kind of did, because I said that they were gonna lose. But if I had to guess, with France, I'd probably go with a 2-1 victory for France. Maybe after extra time, because I do think that where England lack is the overall squad depth within kind of the attacking creative type positions. We've got lots of defensive players, but I think if France or Germany, I think that they'll score multiple goals, and I think that's where England will kind of struggle with from there. But so definitely leave your comments below. Interested to hear what you guys think. What do you prefer, Germany? Do you prefer France? Like, I mean, it's almost like apples and oranges. I mean, like, either way, you know, fruit's a fruit. It's gonna be a difficult situation, whether it's England or France. You know who I'm going for. And also, what's your prediction? And then give me your thoughts on Bukayo Saka. I thought he was absolutely amazing today, but you might feel differently, or maybe you might have someone else you might give man of the match. And then also Kieran Tierney, obviously coming home to the mighty Arsenal after a difficult but yet, you know, establishing a ground on Scotland's kind of first trip back into kind of European international football. So it'd be good to hear your guys' thoughts. But definitely, before you do that, definitely remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all on my next video, which will be definitely next week, if not sometime over the next day or so.